The search for a solution is starting here, but those you voted for are not part of the talks. Burglars used a rock to smash through the back door of homes. This rally is zeroing in on the State House. Some of these still a little tight right now. First, an unprecedented 3 open seats on the state Supreme Court. Wolf calls the Republican budget a gimmick that does not give enough money to schools. Raising the income tax to 3.7%. And the sales tax waiting on a couple $100,000 check to keep projects like this humming. Now Kane's opponents say this should be settled across the street with state capitol impeachment hearings. By the way, those of you headed to state parks for this holiday weekend, we have learned that those will remain open even if there is a budget impasse. The National Guard is protecting City Hall tonight after last night's violence, and tonight there's fear of even more. Police tensions are high and SWAT gear is out on Baltimore's North Street, an epicenter of Monday night's looting.
The violence.
President Obama condemned rioters who burned hundreds of cars and buildings after the funeral of 25-year-old Freddie Gray.
There's no excuse for the kind of violence that we saw yesterday.
Now more than 500 National Guardsmen are patrolling Baltimore, with more on the way from surrounding states. Maryland's governor says Baltimore will take all the help it can get.
We're not going to have another repeat of what happened last night.
The warning comes as the cleanup is just beginning at Muntean Mall, where some of the first store windows were smashed. An army of volunteers say this is the Baltimore they want you to see.
Well, I think it's important you change the narrative. I mean, last night was incredible, but so negative.
Baltimore is stronger than that.
Schools here were closed today in preparation for a citywide curfew that goes into effect in a few hours. Live in Baltimore, Pete Muntean, News 8.
There he is.
Lou and Ann Jablonski have had 14 years to think about the night of April 30th, 2001. The state police called here to their Leola home about their son, Michael.
If I knew he was going down Route 41 there, I would have told him, call in sick, don't go down there.
Michael was doing road work in Gap, Lancaster County when a man driving a U-Haul swerved into a PennDOT truck. Michael was pinned and killed.
We have to try to do things that I know nothing will bring him back, but, you know, to help other people.
Now the Jablonskis are hoping Harrisburg moves on this bill that would put cameras in work zones on interstates to catch speeders. Senate Republican David Argle's modeling the plan after neighboring Maryland, where he says the proven killer that is work zone speeding has dropped 85%.
There's a sign up. You know that there's a camera. In most states, that seems to be enough to encourage people to slow the heck down.
Get nabbed by one of these cameras and you would pay a $100 fine. Proponents call it a happy medium that works.
That's enough to get your attention, but it's not going to bankrupt anybody at the same time.
One way to hurt people is through their pocketbook.
The Jablonskis say nothing will end their hurt. They're in their 70s now and wish Michael was around to help them. Instead, they say these cameras will help you.
Slow down and think about what you're doing, because the life you save may not only be your own, it'll be somebody else's too.
The State Senate is holding its first hearing on work zone speed cameras tomorrow. The plan has wide support in the Senate. Don't be surprised, Kim and Ron, to see this sometime soon, and we'll stay on top of it.
This is what it comes to.
Mostly local races. Let's start with those going on statewide tonight. There's an unprecedented 3 open seats on the state Supreme Court. Some of the most restricted airspace in the country. The first here at 30 miles from D.C.